They don't need to know your every move. They don't need to clap for your planning phase. You are not obligated to announce your dreams like headlines, because truth is, the more people you tell, the more opinions you invite. And every opinion comes with weight, some light, some heavy enough to crush your momentum. See, people will smile, nod, and still doubt you. Some will support you until your growth threatens their comfort. Others will quietly hope you don't follow through, because your discipline exposes their excuses. So move in silence, build quietly, heal privately, grind relentlessly. Let your work echo in rooms where your voice has never entered. Let results speak so loud, you don't even have to open your mouth. This isn't secrecy out of fear, this is strategy. This is how empires are built, not in noise, but in discipline, not in validation, but in execution. You don't need to post it, you don't need to prove it, you just need to do it, because until it's done, tell none. Keep your goals private until they manifest. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When you speak too soon, you open the door too wide, and not everyone who walks in comes with love. Some come with doubt, some come with envy, some come with fake encouragement, hoping secretly that you fall. You don't owe the world a preview of your process. Let them see the trailer only when the movie is complete. Your vision is sacred. Not everyone has the eyes to see it. Not everyone has the heart to hold it. When you share it too early, you invite noise, and noise kills clarity. You'll find yourself questioning what you once felt so sure about. Don't let their confusion become your hesitation. Don't let their disbelief become your silence. You're not hiding, you're building. You're protecting what matters before it's strong enough to stand alone. When something is fragile, you shield it, you water it, you nurture it in peace, not in the spotlight. Not under pressure. Move in silence, not out of fear but out of focus. You're not doing this for applause, you're doing it for alignment. Let your progress be your proof. Let your results introduce you. Because once it's done, you won't need to explain anything. They'll see it, they'll feel it, and they'll understand. Until then, protect your energy, protect your vision, and keep your goals where they belong, close to your chest, until they're ready to breathe on their own. Avoid seeking premature validation from others. It may feel like motivation, but it's a trap dressed in praise. When you chase approval too early, you're no longer building for purpose, you're building for applause. You start shaping your vision to impress them, not to fulfill you, and slowly, quietly, you lose your focus. You start second, guessing what once felt certain. You begin editing your dreams to fit their comfort zones, and piece by piece your original fire dims. Validation feels good, but it's temporary, it's a moment. And your mission needs more than moments, it needs consistency. When you hand over your confidence to others, you give them the power to take it back anytime. One compliment lifts you, one criticism crushes you. That's no way to live, that's no way to build. Your value doesn't come from claps, likes, or reposts. It comes from the discipline to keep going even when no one is watching. Because real growth is silent. It's unpretty, it's lonely, and it's worth it. You don't need someone else to believe before you do. You don't need a crowd to validate what you know in your soul. Let your focus be louder than your need to be seen. Let your work be more important than their opinions. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to fulfill what was placed inside you, not what's expected by them. So stop asking for early praise. Stop waiting for someone to say, "You're doing it right." You are doing it right if it's honest, if it's yours, if it's aligned. Hold your power, hold your focus, and build for the long game, not for likes. People's opinions can distort your path, even unintentionally. Even the ones who love you, even the ones who mean well, they don't always see what you see. They weren't given your vision, your fire, or your purpose, so when they speak from their lens. Their fears, their doubts, their limitations, not yours. They'll tell you to play it safe, to be realistic, to slow down not out of harm, but because they don't understand your hunger. And if you're not careful, you'll start to wear their fears like armor. You'll shrink your dreams to fit their comfort. You'll trade your path for their approval, all without realizing it. A single comment can plant a seed of doubt, a raised eyebrow, a careless laugh, "Are you sure?" And suddenly, you're questioning everything. Not because you're wrong, but because someone couldn't see what was never meant for them. You were born to walk a path that's often invisible to others. It won't make sense to most people, and it doesn't have to. Clarity isn't found in outside voices. It's found in silence, in stillness, in obedience to your own calling. Protect your mind from noise disguised as care. You can love them and not follow their advice. You can listen and still trust yourself more, because no one else wakes up with your dreams. No one else loses sleep over your purpose. Only you do. So when the voices get loud, get quiet. When the opinions come in waves, anchor yourself. This is your path, and it's okay if no one else gets it. It was never for them anyway. Not everyone around you wants to see you win, some only pretend. They smile in your face, but they flinch at your progress. They say, "I'm proud of you," but deep down they're hoping you'll slow down, or better yet, give up. It's not always loud, it's not always obvious. Sometimes it's silent envy dressed as passive support. You'll feel it in the shift of their tone, in the delay of their congratulations, in the way they suddenly stop showing up. Not everyone clapping is clapping for you. Some are clapping just loud enough to blend in. But they don't want to see you rise higher than them, because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Your consistency exposes their excuses. Your progress makes them uncomfortable with their own lack of effort. They'll call it humble advice, they'll label it concern, but often it's just fear, their fear that you're becoming more than what they expected. And sometimes it's not even about you, it's about their wounds. Their unhealed insecurities, their belief that if you win, they lose. But you don't owe anyone a smaller version of yourself just to keep their ego intact. You're not here to dim your light so they can feel less blind. Your success isn't arrogant. Your growth isn't betrayal. Your ambition isn't a threat unless they choose to see it that way. So be kind, but be aware. Watch who celebrates your wins with genuine joy and who goes silent when things go right. Pay attention to who only shows up when you're struggling, but disappears when you're thriving. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to expose them. Just keep moving, because your focus is worth more than fake friendship. Your vision is too valuable to be watered down for approval. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going, and that's okay. Quiet progress breeds real power, no need for noise. The strongest moves are often made in silence. Not because you're hiding, but because you're focused. Real work doesn't need an audience, it needs commitment. It needs consistency when no one is cheering. Loud progress might get attention, but quiet progress builds foundation. It's in the unseen hours, the unnoticed sacrifices, where transformation truly happens. You don't have to post every step. You don't have to explain every goal. Let the process speak louder than the presentation. Power grows in stillness. In the moments you keep showing up with no praise, no applause, and no validation, that's where your strength multiplies. Noise fades, trends pass, but what's built in silence lasts longer. Because when you're not distracted by performing, you're actually producing. When you're not consumed with being seen, you're free to evolve. You don't need to prove anything in the middle. Let the finish line speak for you. People won't always notice the grind. They won't see the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet tears, the private battles. But when the results arrive, they'll have no choice but to recognize what you've done. And by then, you won't even need the recognition, because you'll know what it took. You'll know who you became, and that's more powerful than any spotlight. Let them wonder, let them question, let them assume you're not moving, Meanwhile, you're building, you're growing, you're becoming unstoppable quietly. Progress doesn't have to shout to be real, it just has to happen. Your growth might intimidate others, and that's not your problem. You were not born to shrink for someone else's comfort. You are not responsible for how others choose to react to your progress. Some people will admire your journey, others will resent it. That's not your burden to carry. You're not being too much, you're not moving too fast, you're just evolving, and not everyone will keep up. And that's okay. Growth makes people uncomfortable, especially those who have stayed still for too long. When they see you rise, they're forced to confront their own hesitation. Your consistency exposes their excuses. Your courage reminds them of their fear. Your fire makes their comfort look cold, so they may pull away. They may criticize you. They may act like you've changed because you have, but that change is necessary. That growth is sacred, and it's not up for negotiation. You're not here to fit the version of you they were used to. You're here to step into the version of you were always meant to become. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's not selfishness, it's self-respect. If your glow bothers them, they were never clapping from the heart. You don't owe anyone an explanation for leveling up. You don't have to apologize for getting serious about your life. You don't have to make yourself smaller to make others feel bigger. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them talk. Let them distance themselves. Your path isn't about keeping others secure. It's about becoming who you were born to be. So walk boldly, grow freely, and let them feel whatever they feel. Because their reaction is not your responsibility, but your growth, that is. Discipline is louder than declaration. Prove it through action. Anyone can talk about change. Anyone can post about their goals. But not everyone follows through. Words are easy. They cost nothing. But discipline, that costs everything. It costs time. It costs comfort. It costs excuses. And most of all, it costs your old self. You don't need to declare your intentions every week. You don't need to tell the world you're serious. Just be serious. Let your daily actions do the talking. Let your consistency speak louder than your promises. Let your focus silence the need for validation. When you're disciplined, you show up when you're tired. You move forward when motivation fades. You keep going when no one is watching. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The discipline to say no when it's easier to say yes. The discipline to rise early, to train harder, to push further even when no one claps. You don't need a big announcement. You need quiet repetition. You need invisible effort, stacked day after day, until your life reflects your commitment. People will stop listening to what you say when they see what you do. Let them doubt you. Let them question. Just keep showing up. Keep moving in purpose. Keep doing what others only talk about, because talk gets attention, but discipline earns respect. And while others are busy declaring their goals, you'll be living yours. Not because you shouted the loudest, but because you worked the hardest. Real growth doesn't come from intention. It comes from execution, not from hype, but from habit. So skip the speeches, skip the declarations, and make discipline your language, because in the end, action is the only proof you need. Silence creates momentum when no one's watching. You're freer, free from judgment, free from pressure, free from the need to perform. In the quiet, you can focus, you can breathe, you can build without noise drowning out your clarity. There's power in being unseen, because when no one's watching, you stop trying to impress and start doing what actually matters. You're not performing for the timeline, you're not curating progress for applause, you're simply moving step by step toward the life you want, and that movement, quiet, steady, unseen, that's where real momentum is born. No distractions, no comparisons, no opinions pulling you off course. It's just you, your discipline, and the deep work no one talks about. When no one is looking, you take risks you wouldn't take in front of a crowd. You fail faster, you learn quicker, you grow deeper. There's no pressure to be perfect, just permission to be real. Some of your best chapters will never make it to the public eye, because they weren't meant to. They were meant to transform you in private, so you could rise in power later. Silence doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means something is happening that doesn't need an audience. You're building habits. You're strengthening your mind. You're preparing for what's next without the weight of people's expectations. And the beautiful part is momentum doesn't need a microphone. It just needs repetition. It just needs space. It just needs time. So don't rush to be seen. Don't force your process into the spotlight. Let silence do what it does best, make you unstoppable behind the scenes. Because when you emerge, it won't be with noise. It'll be with power, earned quietly, built privately, and impossible to ignore. Results speak for themselves. They demand respect, not explanation. You don't have to convince anyone when the work is already done. You don't have to argue when the proof is visible. You don't need to explain what success already confirmed. People may doubt you in the beginning. They may question your choices, your timing, your strategy. Let them, because when the results show up, their words won't matter. The numbers speak, the transformation speaks, the consistency speaks, and none of it requires permission. You don't have to respond to criticism, your progress already did. You don't have to justify your silence, your outcome broke the noise. You don't have to explain why you moved in secret, because the finished product is loud enough. People are quick to challenge what they can't understand. But once it's in front of them, once it's undeniable, they fall silent. That's the power of execution. It doesn't beg, it doesn't argue, it just shows up, finished, solid, undeniable. You didn't get here by shouting. You got here by showing up, day after day, quietly, relentlessly, without needing constant applause. That's what separates talk from truth. It's easy to make noise about where you're going. It's harder to stay locked in until you arrive. But once you do, you won't need to speak for yourself. The changed life will speak. The opportunities will speak. The peace you carry will speak. And the very people who doubted you, who questioned your silence, will be the ones asking how you did it. You won't need to respond with words. Just point to the results, because they speak with clarity. They speak with power. They speak with finality. Respect doesn't come from explanation. It comes from execution. Let your life become the evidence. Let your results end the conversation. Confidence is built in private, revealed in victory. It doesn't start on stage. It starts in the silence when no one's watching and you're still choosing to show up. It's in the early mornings, the quiet repetitions, the countless failures behind closed doors. That's where confidence is born, not from praise, but from persistence. You don't become confident by being told you can. You become confident by proving to yourself that you did. Every small win in secret stacks up. Every moment you push through resistance builds strength. Every promise you keep to yourself grows trust. Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I've been here before. I've done the work. I know who I am. It's not something you wear for show. It's something you carry inside. Because when you've done the work in private, you don't need to perform in public. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to seek approval. Your actions speak it. Your presence owns it. Your results reflect it. Confidence is built when you're failing but not quitting, when you're doubting but still trying, when you're tired but still choosing to move forward. It doesn't require validation. It grows in discipline. It's planted in the dark and it blooms when the spotlight finds you. By the time you arrive, you're not hoping you belong, you asterisk, no asterisk, you do. Because you've already faced the struggle, already climbed through the doubt, already endured the lonely climb. So when the win comes, it's not a surprise, it's confirmation, not of luck, but of labor, not of chance, but of character. Confidence doesn't ask, will they accept me? It declares, I've earned this. And that kind of confidence, the kind built in silence, can't be shaken. So protect your silence, honor your process, and let the world feel the weight of what you built in the dark. Because when it's time to rise, you won't need to announce it. Your results will walk in first, loud, clear, and undeniable. Let them talk, let them guess, let them wonder. You just keep building, keep moving, keep becoming, until it's done, tell none.